God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. Love is my source. Love is my power. Love gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. Peace is my source. Peace is my power. Peace gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Peace gives me everything I need. Joy is my source. Joy is my power. Joy gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Joy gives me everything I need. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need.
Hello and welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Santa Rosa virtual service. I am Edward Fullion, the Senior Minister at the Center, and I welcome you to our service. If you are visiting with us for the very first time, I invite you to visit our website, www.cslsr.org, where you can find out a lot of information about what we believe and how to stay connected with us during these shelter-in-place times. Today, our message is brought to us by a guest speaker, Reverend James Trapp. And here's what we have to say about Reverend James. James Trapp is an inspirational speaker, and you'll find that out today, and strategic advisor to individuals and organizations on enlightened leadership. He is currently the Senior Minister of Worship at Spiritual Life Center in Sacramento, California. Reverend James is also president of Star Human Capital, a consulting firm dedicated to applying universal spiritual principles to inspire and instruct others to create the best lives and strategically improve their organizations. He's also the former CEO of Unity Worldwide Ministries, the International Association for Unity Communities, which is dedicated to creating positive paths for spiritual living. He is an amazing speaker, and it is such a pleasure to have him speak to us. He was supposed to be with us in Santa Rosa, and I'm certain we will have him in the future in Santa Rosa with us today. So you're in for a treat today. At the Center for Spiritual Living, we are inspired by a vision of a healthy, loving world. We call it the Global Vision. And each month, we hear a part of that vision to keep us on track with what we are moving towards, what we are learning about and aspiring to. The portion for July from the Global Vision that we are focusing on this month is: we see a world in which we are individually and collectively called to a higher state of consciousness and action. We embrace a vision of a world of peace and harmony for all. Today's affirmative prayer, we call it a spiritual mind treatment, is brought to us by Rodney Jansen, and he will also read to us the affirmation for this week that comes from our book of affirmations of 2020 spiritual vision that we're using this month. I'm certain that somewhere between the music and the meditation and the prayer and the message is exactly what you need for the next portion of your spiritual journey. Please be welcome here.
Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know. Be still and know that you are God. Be still and know that you are. Be still and know that you are God. Be still and know. Be still and know that we are God. Be still and know that we are. Be still and know that we are God. Be still and know.
Hello. I'd like to invite you now to do whatever feels natural to quiet the mind and relinquish old thoughts as we settle in now and listen to the words of this prayer. Affirming once again that there is an abundant, absolute power, an intelligence that is back of all things known and unknown. It is that which we call God or Spirit that is expressing uniquely in each of us. I proclaim that the Spirit is intelligently guiding each one of us today to hear and experience exactly what each one of us needs to take away from this service and this message today. I affirm now that this service and the message is likened to a rose that effortlessly comes into full bloom with all of its expression and fragrance. May this service and the message open and fill each of our senses today. May we walk away feeling even more refreshed and more supported, with an excited anticipation of what Spirit is doing today in this message, and with a grateful heart. I release my word now into the divine flow of life, the blind force, knowing that it takes the impress of my words and acts upon them. And so it is. Hello, I'm Rodney Jansen, a prayer practitioner at the Center. Here is today's affirmation from our Beyond 2020 Spiritual Vision Book of Affirmations. I celebrate the eternal now, rich in abundant blessings and divine possibility. And so it is.
Well, the problem is not what we haven't got. We've got everything we need, and the proof can be found, springing from the ground. There's a mighty tree from just a little seed. No, what we want here is to be very clear and put our heart's desire first. Till we make up our mind, we're sure to find the questioning voice of the universe, asking what is your intention? What do you want to do? Tell me what is your intention? What can I do for you? Tell me what is your intention? What do you want to be? And what? Just tell me what will set you free. Well, you don't need to know just how it's gonna go. Give the details up for now. When there's nothing between you and your dream, that's more important than the when, where, or how. 'Cause life's a precious gold, an ember in our soul, waiting to become a fire. And no matter the choice, there's always a voice saying, I can give you more than you can desire. Just tell me what is your intention? What do you want to do? Tell me what is your intention? What can I do for you? Tell me what is your intention? What do you want to be? And what? Just tell me what will make you free. Do it here, ask it now, make it clear just exactly how. And tell me what is your intention? What you want to do? Tell me what is your intention? What can I do for you? Tell me what is your intention? What do you want to be? And what? Just tell me what will bring you peace. Or tell me what, just tell me what will make you free. Oh, intention.
Well, greetings to Centers for Spiritual Living in Santa Rosa. I want to thank Dr. Edward for inviting me to be part of this experience with you today, as well as Reverend Tara for setting up the arrangements for this to happen. You know, when this was originally planned several months ago for me to speak, I thought I'd be in Santa Rosa live and in color with you. But as you know, circumstances have changed, COVID-19 being one of them. But we have the ability to adapt. As Ralph Waldo Emerson once said, that we are endogenous beings, which is distinct from being indigenous. When something is indigenous, it can only grow in one particular environment. But when it is endogenous, it can grow, it can adapt to any environment. So here I am on video to share a message with you today. And because of that, I can say that life is good. And I invite you to quietly say that to yourself. Even if you seem to think you have to make it up. Because we're not saying that life is good when the facts of life are not to our liking. We're saying life is good because God, or what I call the force, is changeless. And it's something we can always depend upon. Note that as you and I say that life is good, which is an affirmative prayer, when we say that, the patterns in our brains begin to change. Our nervous system begins to be acclimated to that higher frequency. And it's in that frequency we can begin to see spiritual solutions. We can begin to see divine ideas that are always present. This is an important lesson for us in our life. We want to tune into that vibration. You know, in the book of Joshua, the 24th chapter and the 15th verse, it says in part, choose ye this day whom you will serve. Either you choose the Lord, which is nothing more than the law of our being, the law of life, the God presence, the love intelligence that governs the universe, or choose fear. So it's God or fear, God or mammon, God or strict materialism. To make that choice, however, we have to be aware. Many are unaware at times that they have been socially conditioned to believe in ways not in alignment with this God energy, with this God thought. They are unaware that this conditioning has come through education, or maybe more accurately, miseducation. It's come through faulty theologies. All of us have been subject to this to some degree or another. I know I have. Because it's come through what people have said about us. It's come through what we have said about ourselves. Also what we believe about ourselves. And this conditioning that has one power in creating an hypnotic state in which we believe that the external world or our hereditary patterns are determining our destiny, or that our past is a determination of our future. That which is happening to us right now, we believe, can determine the course of our happiness. None of that is true, because we're forgetting that all along that consciousness is causal, and our awareness and what we pay attention to determines the course of our destiny. We have that choice. And this brings me to my topic for today, which is you have a spiritual remote control. Please use it. And you know that what I'm talking about here, you know, there's a remote control that we have to change the channel on our TV sets. You know, we can sit back on our couch and favorite chair, and we can point at the television and change the channel. But so many people are going through life without a clicker. They're going through life without a remote. And they're stuck on a particular channel in their own mind. And they're stuck there. They're not using their remote control to change the channel. Imagine being in your house and you only have one channel. It's the doom and gloom station, and you're watching it over and over again. And you have no remote, you have no control, you have no clicker to make a change. Well, that is where many human beings are living in their day-to-day living. They're existing in a space without a clicker. They're in what I would call television hell, channel hell. You know, they can't even channel surf. So the first thing we want to be aware of in learning how to use our remote control is this. You don't want to believe every thought, every idea, every opinion that you think. You don't want everything that comes through your mind, that flows through your mind, you don't want to believe that. You don't want to adhere to everything that bubbles up in your awareness. All of that which is bubbling up is just a particular channel that is in your mind at that particular time. And you don't need to know, and you don't have to have that thought as something that you accept. You know, I remember there was a time that I was very young. You may have had something similar to this happen to you or observed it. And I was walking down the street. I think it was my mother. I was very young, didn't really know what the world was all about. And I picked up something from the ground. It might have been a piece of candy that somebody had dropped. And then my mother would say, put that down, put that down. You don't know where that came from. You don't know what germs have been on that. You don't know whose mouth that has been in. Well, I think we need to do something similar with our thoughts. We need to put them down because we don't know where those thoughts may have come from. We don't know where those thoughts have originated in someone else's mind before they got to where they are in our own mind. We have no idea what consciousness may have been polluted before that thought traveled to where we are. So every now and then, we have to stop and look at our thoughts and ask, where is that thought coming from? Is that thought true? Is that thought emanating from the channel of infinite possibility? Or is that thought coming from the channel from that sea of mental garbage that sometimes we get caught up in? We have the capacity to change the channel of our mind anytime we desire. But in the beginning, we have to be aware. We have to deeply listen and see that and be conscious that every thought that emerges from our mind, we don't have to believe it. This is what Nelson Mandela did when he was in a cell in Robben Island in South Africa, for those who know a little bit about his history. Mr. Mandela was sentenced for life because he fought to end apartheid in South Africa. And at first, all he could think was that his good would never happen. His vision would never become a reality. His goal would never be achieved. And his mind was filled with this belief: it will never happen now. It will never happen now. It will never happen. That was the channel that he was on. Then one day, he said it was as if a stream of light landed on a parched field. And the thought came through to him. And the thought was, well, maybe it can happen. And he nurtured that thought. And he began to hook to that thought. He began to embody that thought. And then the idea came that maybe his being in prison was the means toward ending apartheid. And his desired good, his vision, could be achieved. And he began to think, okay, this is what it looks like. This is what it looks like while it's happening. My being here is part of the plan, is part of the journey. And once he got into that energetic frequency, the idea of writing letters occurred to him. And through his letter writing, the American media, as well as other media throughout the world, picked up on his story. And it started a chain of events that led to the end of apartheid and eventually Mandela's freedom from prison, in which he became the very president of the country that he was imprisoned by. You know, we can say he used his spiritual remote control. He changed the channel from his belief that he had to succumb to the circumstances that he was subjected to. He didn't do that. He clicked over to a different channel. And he opened up his mind to join with his desire that was in his heart. He matched it with a feeling tone. And from that space, answers and solutions began to show up. Understand, with your awareness, you can use your spiritual remote control. And you can begin to change a particular channel at will. Right now, people have a tendency to be stuck on what I call the doom and gloom channel. They're on that frequency. They're on that vibration. You know, today there's plenty of evidence to support that. We can look around and see there's a lot of stuff going on, COVID-19, racial divides that have been showing up, political polarizations we see in this country. From that energetic, it's easy to start convening what I call councils of despair and councils of doubt and fear and worry and impossibility thinking. You know, we can have councils of a sense of separation that we see in our country today and begin to broadcast that energy into our screen of life. But that's just a channel of consciousness. We've got the power right now to change that channel, to change the channel in which the Spirit of the living God will say to us in so many words, be a channel. Don't be just stuck on one. That's what this presence is saying to us. That's what the force is saying to us in so many words. That we can be a channel for love, a channel for peace, a channel for wisdom, a channel for harmony, and all that is good and church and fervent. But we don't need to be stuck on that channel of fear, doubt, worry, or separations. Spiritual solutions, divine ideas do not come out of that energy. So you and I can begin to change that particular channel to a whole different energetic, an energetic channel of beauty, thanksgiving, gratitude. And you and I can begin to set that as our favorite channel before we start our day. You know, many individuals, when they step out into their day, they're hypnotized because they're watching a channel set by somebody else's remote control. Somebody out there may be trying to determine who you are to be today. But you have a remote control. Use it. That remote control is your awareness. You can determine where you direct your awareness at any time. To get into that frequency, the right frequency, that high vibration, you want to add this to your spiritual practice. For one day, just for one day, and if you can, do it day after day, but let's start out for one day, even though I know it's difficult. But just for one day, practice this. Do not share what is wrong in your life or in our world. Yeah, I know it's hard. As I mentioned, there's a lot of evidence to support what's wrong with our country, what's wrong with our world. But we can make a commitment right now to not do that. So when stuff comes up and wants to come out of our mouth, and we'll want to say all kinds of stuff that shows why it's wrong, and when we do that, we don't want to beat ourselves up. We don't want to feel guilty about that if we end up going there. But for one day, we're not going to talk about what's wrong. And then you'll notice that when the surface mind or the ego or the unspiritualized ego wants to go to that place based upon the habits it's had, because it's heard the news and 90% of the time it has a negative vibration. But those news reports can be served as evolutionary triggers, and they can be used to deepen our spiritual practice, because you can notice what wants to come up. Because you're in this practice now, you'll bring what was unconscious to your consciousness. Understand what I'm saying here. We might want to say, oh, life is bad and it's getting worse, but we catch ourselves. We don't let those words come out of our mouth. If they start coming out, push them back in. And if you want to go a little bit further, you ask yourself, what spiritual principle was I denying when I was about to say those words that are not in alignment with truth? We might be saying, oh, I'm saying, oh, I don't have enough. Oh my God, what I'm doing, I'm denying the spiritual principle of abundance and plenitude. I'm denying the spiritual principle that everything I want, hope for, or desire is already within me. There's a principle I'm denying. And then we go a step further. we turn that into an affirmation. And we say things like, I have all that I need. God is for me and not against me. We live in a friendly, supportive universe. From that energetic, spiritual solutions will flow from that vibration, that the universe is for me and not against me. That's our practice. Like I said, I know it's not always easy to do, because the difficulty is a part of us at times wants to be normal. We want to fit in. We want to belong. And so when someone convenes a council of despair or misery, sometimes we just join in that council. We hear them say those low vibration phrases, and we say, I hear what you're saying. I believe that. And maybe it'll turn into a whole four-part harmony choir. Everybody's saying it in unison. But today, you're going to use your remote control and resign from that council. You're not going to RSVP anymore. Rather, use your spiritual remote control to adjourn councils and get rid of councils of misery and impossibility thinking. Convene the councils of gratitude. Convene the councils of thanksgiving. Convene the councils of what's possible in your life and in our world. Hang in this awareness. Sing about it. Laugh about it. Play in it. Write about it. Be creative from it. Dance it. Love it. Hug it. This is where it's at, and the channel you want to be on. This is your life and being, and it is good. And so it is. So we let it be. Let us commune with the presence for a moment. I invite you to touch that place within you now, to feel and sense your oneness with the all-knowing, all-powerful, everywhere, omni-active presence. We call it by many different names. But whenever we get caught up in a low vibration, we call this energy forth as the activity of our awareness. We become aware, awake, clear in our thinking. We observe what is passing through our consciousness. And we simply ask, is this true? We simply ask, where did that thought come from? We simply ask, did it come from the field of infinite possibility? Or did it come from that impossibility thinking awareness that we sometimes get caught up in? We begin to think from the consciousness of pure spirit. And we begin to think from that consciousness, divine and perfect spiritual solutions reveal themselves to us. Upliftment begins to happen. Transformation begins to happen. We begin to reveal the truth of our being as expressions of the Spirit of the living God. And as we think from that awareness, we bring an anchor in our life and in our world, the possibilities of the human spirit. And we begin to see ourselves as we are seen when we are at our highest and our best, expressions of the Spirit of God. And so it is, and so we let it be. Amen.
Thank you very much, Reverend James, and I hope that we will see you in the flesh, live and in color, right here in Santa Rosa in the future. And now it is time for our offering. I want to thank you for supporting your center with your tithes, sending them in by check to our address at 2075 Occidental Road, where we pick it up, and as I say every week, we receive these messages of love and gratitude reminding us of the special place that our Center for Spiritual Living has in our hearts. So thank you for that. And a special thank you to those people who have converted their giving. I know some people like the physical act of placing their contribution in the basket as it comes around. So making the adjustment to give online, I appreciate that. I thank you for making sure that your center is supported so that we can continue to provide the services and programming that make such a difference to the world and help create a world that works a little bit better for everyone. After this music that follows, I'll be sharing some community announcements with you.
Living Spirit, I am grateful. Loving Spirit, I am free. So many gifts upon my table, loving kindnesses to me. Living Spirit, I am grateful. Loving Spirit, for the way, for this rich, abundant living every single day. And I give thanks for the knowing. I give thanks for the way your love is overflowing every time I pray. And I thank you, God, for one good day. Living Spirit, I am grateful. Loving Spirit, I am free. So many gifts upon my table, loving kindnesses to me. Living Spirit, I am grateful. Loving Spirit, for the way, for this rich, abundant living every single day. And I give thanks for the knowing. I give thanks for the way your love is overflowing every time I pray. And I thank you, God. Oh, I thank you, God, for one good day.
And now it is time for our community announcements. Last week we heard our webmaster, Alan Yeager, describe the big yellow band across our website, www.cslsr.org, your one-stop click to everything you need for participation in our Center for Spiritual Living Santa Rosa, including a bulletin that is colorful, beautiful, easy to read, and updated weekly. In this week's bulletin, you'll read about Me and White Supremacy. It's a book study that's coming up. I wanted to let you know about it. Reverend Tara Steele and practitioner Susan Robinson will be facilitating 6 Wednesdays starting on August 5th. Now, this is an event you must register for, and guess where you will find the registration link? On our website. It's open to anyone who identifies as white. It's called an affinity group. This is happening throughout our movement, where people with affinities, for example, through being white, get together and study this amazing book, Me and White Supremacy, to discover our whiteness as a worldview and how that might be causing harm to Black, Indigenous people of color. So you can register for this group, and you will be in a safe environment to really unpack such things as whiteness and privilege and silence and all of that sort of thing. I'm doing that study right now. It's a landmark event in our organization. Last week or 2 weeks ago, it started. Approximately, I think it's 150 white or white identifying ministers started the work of this book study and are looking deeply into it to unpack their unconscious and conscious biases and privileges that are based on skin color. Now you're being invited to do the same. August 5th, you must register in advance. This evening, if you'd like to participate in a conversation that's open to anyone, and it's free, practitioner Peggy Weber is hosting the conversation called Does Prayer Work? What have you noticed? Do you have questions? Anyone is welcome to come, and that's this evening at 7 p.m. Lunchtime Learning is with Reverend Joyce DeFalla, and her focus this month is living our American spiritual values. So Reverend Joyce DeFalla will be there on Sundays, noon to 1, to see the value-based good that is already present in our lives, and then to be inspired to expand upon that in ourselves, out into our nation for more good. So click on the link inside our bulletin to get onto the Zoom call. Meditation, well, we have Wednesday evenings, we have Saturday mornings, we have the World Peace Meditation on the last day of the month, every month of the year. There's a lot for you in your spiritual community. Now, today, something special is our Being and Belonging group. Was formerly called the Diversity and Inclusion Group. So this is an evolution of the scope of the group. We're talking now about being and belonging in a broader context even. Today, 1:30 to 3 p.m., and everyone is welcome. Today, what the topic is becoming allies with our transgender sisters and brothers. You're welcome to attend. And then next week at 1 p.m. is our monthly virtual social hall. I'll be there, you'll be there, we'll be able to see each other and talk together and share in small groups, and we'll have a good time. So make a note, next week 1 p.m. virtual social hall. A board meeting is coming up. There's more information about that, just in case you wanted to sit in and listen to the trustees that you elected, hear how they are managing the affairs of our center. Guests are welcome. You can come to our virtual board meeting online through the miracle of the internet. There's the third act, and it gives seniors in our community the opportunity to share their ideas and their joys and concerns, and to have some deep spiritual conversation about that. Oh, I mentioned the World Peace Meditation. That's coming up on July 31st. That has a long history in our community. Do you know that started in 1986 with a small group of committed people, and we have not missed it since then, every single month? So I invite you to go to our website and have a look at the bulletin. I haven't mentioned everything that is in there, and I know that somewhere there, in between all the information and inspiration, is something that matches you, that is for you, and I invite you to participate.
You are sacred love, sacred love is all that you are. God, lead the way. I want to live in such a holy place. Such a holy place. You are blessed peace. Blessed peace is all that you are. You are blessed peace, God. Blessed peace is all that you are. Show the way, God, show the way. I want to live in such a state of grace. Lead the way, God, lead the way. I want to live in such a holy place. Such a holy place. You are deepest joy. Deepest joy is all that you are. You are deepest joy, God. Deepest joy is all that you are. Show the way, God, show the way. I want to live in such a state of grace. Lead the way, God, lead the way. I want to live in such a holy place. Such a holy place. You are sacred love. Sacred love is all that you are. You are sacred love. Sacred love is all that you are. Sacred love is all that you are. Sacred love is all that you are.
And if you know these words, please say them with me. And if you don't yet know them, I'm certain you will after you spend some more time with us. Something wonderful is happening through me right now. It is this thing called life. Life is in my mind, life is in my body, and life is in my affairs. I think it, I feel it, and I accept it, just the way that it is, and just the way that it is not. Thank you, life. Know with me that you are never alone, that Spirit is right where you are, that you have only to look within at any moment to know that you are guided and sustained and preserved by a presence that expresses its love through your love in this world. In deepest gratitude, let us live our lives accordingly so that in everything that we do and say and think, we honor this presence within. And so it is. Keep in mind, there's an opportunity for you after service for prayer, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye-bye.
I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. Oh, no more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Oh, I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. Oh, no more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God.
You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. Can you sing that with me? You are the face of God. Hold you in my heart. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of love. You are the face of love. I hold you in my heart. I hold you in my heart. You are my family. You are my family. You are the face of love. Sing that again. You are the face of love. I hold you in my heart. I hold you in my heart. You are my family. You are my family. You are the face of love. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. And if you don't know the sign language, it goes like this. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. Now think of someone you love and say, you are the face of God. Now think of someone you have a little issue with. You are the face of God. Now think about yourself looking in the mirror. You are the face of God. Just breathe that in. You are the face of God. Last time. You are the face of God.